Things around your eyeball known as a skull. What do you call that stuff? The bony orbit. That's the socket your eyes are in. That's your bony orbit. I'm just happy with bony orbit. I'm pretty content. You can impress me and say sphenoid. You know, that's cool. But bony orbit. So now what we're going to do is do the lacrimal apparatus. What does lacrima mean? Tears. Tears, crying, tears. So we're going to look at the tearing stuff. Let's go back and find this one. Alright, so here's my eyeball. So can someone tell me which number is the lacrimal gland, meaning tear gland in English?
11C. 2.
Number 9. This is my lacrimal gland. It's like a windshield washer. The tears come down, then go across my eye to my nose. They have to sweep across. So number 9 is my lacrimal gland on the lateral side of the eye. What do you think you call 11s? What are those? Lacrimal canaliculi. What does that mean in English? Tear canal.
What? Which one is?
11. Those are lacrimal canaliculi. Remember your bones had those too? Like canaliculi? So those are my tear tubes, basically. What do you think you call the top of number 10? That's a lacrimal sac, tear sac. And what do you think you call number 10 as it goes down to my nose? No, not a punctum. A duct. What kind of duct? Nasolacrimal duct, meaning nose tear drain tube. That's why your nose runs when you cry. The tears come across, drain down that way. You can cross the punctum off your list. I'm never going to ask you the puncta. That means the opening of the canals. So you can't really see the puncta.
Is the duct shown there at all?
The duct would be from about here down. It just keeps going. But yeah, they just show kind of the top half.
Okay.
So you have a lacrimal gland, lacrimal canaliculi, the sac, and the nasolacrimal duct. That's your lacrimal apparatus.
What about 9C?
9C. No, I'm not too curious about 9C.
What's the bony orbit?
What's the who what?
The bony orbit.
Your skull.
I missed that one. Okay, got it.
So what's the doctor word for tears?
Lacrimal.
Lacrimal fluid. That's $200 to say tears. What is the thing in the tears that keeps bacteria from chewing up your eye? Lysozyme. Lysozyme is, you learned that in Biology 112, didn't you? You learned the enzymes that you're supposed to nod your heads even if I'm lying? Okay, good. All right. So tell me what 2 and 3 are in doctor speak. 2 and 3 are eyelids, but we can't say eyelids. Palpebrae. Palpebrae is doctor speak for eyelid. So those are your palpebrae. Okay, now we have a canthus. Canthus means corner. So, where number 12 is, what corner of the eye is that? Okay, half of you got it wrong. Let's try that again. What part of, this is my nose, right? Over here? So therefore, what corner of the eye is that? Medial canthus, inside corner of my eye. Over here, what corner is that? Lateral canthus. Make sure you know which eye you're looking at, right or left. Worthless trivia Asians have an epicanthic fold, a little fold of skin in the canthus. That's what they call that. What do you call number 11C, the button there in the corner? That's a caruncle. Uncle Caruncle. That's your caruncle. That's where your eye boogers hang out. Or eye sand, or whatever you want to call them. That's where that stuff collects. It's your caruncle.
Which one was that?
That is 11C. The button in the medial canthus. Lots of C words. You have canthus, caruncle, and the next one, conjunctiva. What the heck is a conjunctiva?
Well, conjunctivitis, isn't that when you get all the yucky?
Yeah, conjunctivitis is bloodshot eyes or pink eye. Conjunctiva is a membrane that goes from the inside of your eyelids over your eye to the inside of the eyelids. Remember in middle school you'd pull down your eye and show everyone the inside of your eyelid? Was I the only one? Okay. Yeah, that's a long time ago. I'll scar it forever. That's your conjunctiva. So what do you call the membrane on the inside of your eyelid? What conjunctiva would that be? Palpebral, because it's palpebrae. What do you call the conjunctiva on the surface of my eyeball? Ocular or bulbar conjunctiva. So depending on where the membrane is, just give it different words. That's conjunctiva. So conjunctiva is the membrane, caruncle is the button, canthus is the corner. So far so good? All right. Eyelash is an eyelash. We got that. Now, let's change models. Okay. What? Caruncle. This is my favorite model, the giant eye. make sure you spend time with the giant eye. Okay? But here's the giant eye. Okay, we're looking for a ciliary gland. That is a gland here behind your eyelashes. It is a kind of a sweat gland. Why would your eyelashes need a sweat gland?
Protection.
Keep them cool, protect them. So your ciliary glands are sort of like sweat glands behind your eyelashes. Can anyone guess what a meibomium or tarsal gland is? A sebaceous gland. That would be at the hairs themselves. Remember your skin lab, you learned the oils at the hairs. So this model doesn't show a meibomium, but it shows a ciliary. So you have oil and sweat on your eyelashes, believe it or not. So when you wake up in the morning and there's all that goop in your eye, blame them. That's what that is. That's the oil that comes out of your meibomiums.
Is that what collects in the caruncle?
Yes. Listen, you sound smart. I collect my meibomiums in my caruncles. They're not eye boogers, they're caruncle exudates. All right. So what's a sty?
When you get a zit on one of
A
those.
zit on one of those. So those glands get inflamed, you now have a pimple in your eyelash. That's a sty, basically. So you're okay on the outside eye.
Is it the ciliary gland or the tarsal that gets...
It could be either one. Whatever. I mean, there might be some technical differentiation.
See the glands on there at all?
The only one you're going to see is ciliary on the big model. None of the other models have them. So now you're going to learn the extrinsic eye muscles. Let's do some extrinsic eye muscles. If I feel nice and generous and merciful and all that, I'll give you this kind of model to do the extrinsic eye muscles. Because to do the muscles, you have to know right from left. Otherwise, you're going to get at least 2 of them wrong. So let's pretend I use this model. Number 1, what muscle is that one? Superior rectus, on top straight. It would have an opposite underneath, somewhere right here. It would be under the eye. Inferior rectus. Number 4 here, which one's that?
Lateral.
I hear some votes for lateral rectus. This one?
Lateral.
Let's find out. What's over here? That's a nose.
That's your nose.
Therefore, that must be lateral. Lateral rectus. Telephone. There'd be one on the opposite side of the eye, buried in here. Medial rectus. So hence, you gotta go right from left, otherwise you're gonna flip the lateral medials around. Okay, there's 2 more. There's this one, number 30, kind of up here. It comes around my nose, goes through a pulley, literally, a trochlea, and spins around. Which one is that top one that goes at an angle? Superior oblique. The trochlear nerve runs him. Right? There's one here marked 6 that goes under my nose and comes around this way to the side of the eyeball. Inferior oblique. So you have one on each side, superior, inferior, lateral, medial. Then you have a top corner, bottom corner. Those are your 2 obliques. So hence, you have to know right from left to get those right. Right? Or get them correct, I should say.
If you weren't going to be nice, how do we know that?
Oh, you have to figure that out on your own.
There's a tendon.
Well, let me show you some hints here. Let me find an
Well,
eye.
if you know where the obliques are.
Let me see.
If you have a
The
trochlear,
obliques are on the medial.
I mean, I could be nice and do this. I mean, you can figure it out because this is my nose over here, my ears over there. If I took that off, you'd have to look at the way the obliques angle. The obliques are at my nose. So they would come around my eye and then go on the opposite side. So you have to see how they angle to see it. If you got the little eye, you got to look at the way the muscles are attached and the nerve.
There's a tendon on the top of the eye and it points to the nose.
That's right.
Okay.
So does anyone have a little eyeball nearby? Where's my little eye? Here's a little eye. So if I was just feeling mean, which I do often, I'll give you this eye that has no bones or anything.